Hello, friends. Welcome
Hello.
back. How are you, Sarah?
I'm grand. How are you today, my dear?
Grand as well. I love that word. So we'll be grand together.
We will, always.
Yes, yes. Well, welcome back, everyone, to Fun Filtered Marketing Talk for Authors. I'm Heather.
And I'm Sarah. And whether you're a regular here or this is the first time that you are joining us, this is a great episode to drop into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is such a great place to be because today we are talking about another significant mind shift that we've been unpacking in this series, what successful authors do that others don't.
And this is one of those shifts that sounds really simple, but I promise you, it changes everything about how your book connects, how it sells, and how it actually reaches people.
Yes, yes. Okay, but first, a quick check in moment before we dive in. If you have been with us for a while, you have probably heard us say this before, but let's be honest for a second. Have you applied it yet?
And
It's
if
key
you're
word.
new, yes, always key. Have you applied it yet? There's a lot of things I think I needed to apply in my own life that
Me too.
probably needs some. Yeah.
Yes.
We are grace filled here in the Heather and Sarah Fun Filled Marketing for book market. We really are. So if you haven't, it's okay. And if you're new here, no pressure at all. Just listen for one thing. This might be the shift you didn't even realize you needed.
Yes. Okay. So here it is. Successful authors don't focus on their story, they focus on the reader's transformation.
And before anyone panics, we are not saying that your story doesn't matter.
Oh, not even a little bit. Your story matters very deeply. And it's not the starting point for your marketing. So let's look into why this matters.
Mm-hmm. Here is the truth that most authors miss. And I think I missed, especially early on in my journey as a writer. Readers don't buy books to celebrate your journey. They buy books because they're trying to figure out theirs.
Oh, say that again. That's really good.
They don't buy books because they're wanting to celebrate your journey. They buy books because they're trying to figure out theirs.
Yes. Yes. Nobody wakes up thinking, I really hope that I find someone else's story today. That's just
Mhm.
not how we function. Not
Mm-mm.
as it's not terrible. That's just who we are. Most people wake up thinking, I need help, or I feel stuck, or maybe they need hope, or they
Mhm.
just need something to change.
Yes. And every reader is silently asking, will this help me? And I love how so very often when we do these fun filters, that they end up feathering whatever subject we're broaching
Mhm.
into something I'm doing with an author that week. And
Mm.
this week was no exception. Lorraine Hoving, who is in her coaching process for her book, let me get this right, I hope. It is a Friday, but I'm going to be grand. I believe it. It is Half the Size, Twice the Woman. And
Mm.
while it is a memoir about her journey with weight loss, it's more about how her story and her emotional healing, spiritually, mentally, and otherwise, brought her to a place where she could finally lose the physical weight she had been carrying. And obviously, as we began, it was about her story and getting that story out. But just this week, we talked about how her introduction and even the rest of her content is actually less about her story
Mm.
and more about how she can help somebody else walk through theirs.
Mm. That's so good. So this is where authors get stuck, and that's a perfect example. unintentionally stall growth when messaging is like, let me tell you what I went through, or here's my journey, here's what happened to me.
Mhm. And I think we have to be honest that that part is meaningful,
Mhm.
because in Lorraine's case, we don't have a book without her story.
Right.
So, that's something we always have to be mindful of. But her reader in particular is still going to wonder, what does this mean for me? And she did some really beautiful things to make that abundantly clear. And one of those things is at the end of each chapter, she
Mhm.
actually asks the next step of the reader and gives them a reflection question rooted in the topics that centered around her chapter in her
Mm.
story. So each chapter has a question that begs them to go deeper, and it's a gentle way for her to kind of hold their hand throughout
Mhm.
the story and really focus on that transformation. So that, what does it mean for me, is important to establish from Jump Street.
Yes, that's so good. And then continue it through the marketing, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
so things like saying, you could say, I've struggled with anxiety for years. That's all
mhm,
about me. That's all about the author. But
mhm.
instead, you could try saying something like, if you feel trapped by anxiety, this will help you take your first step toward peace.
Yes. And here's another exchange. This is the story of healing. If you're walking through this right now, here's a way forward, would actually be what you would want to exchange it for. So let me say that again. Instead of, this is my story of healing, try this.
Mm,
If you're walking through this right now, here's a way forward. And I'm going to go back to Lorraine.
mhm,
So, because it's a perfect example of this exchange. She wrote a letter at the very beginning of her book, and it was to the one person that she wrote the book for, and it's addressed to the one. Yes, she very distinctly says, this is for the one who's wondering if they're not good enough. This is for the
mhm,
one who is looking at the physical evidence of her inner hurt and her inner pain. It's
mhm.
very directly focused, but it doesn't just stay here. And I love the fact that she ends that letter with, and if you don't believe you can journey through this transformation, let me believe for you.
Wow, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
So encouraging. So encouraging. So, in those examples and looking at Lorraine's story, can you see the difference? It's the same story and it still has the same incredibly meaningful content, which is the story that the author wrote, but it's got a completely different connection.
And successful authors understand something that people miss. And let me also say this too. We don't know what we don't know. So if
Yeah.
you're in a place where you're like, well, I don't do that, there is always a new day and a new story and a new start. So don't be disappointed in yourself. Instead, find inspiration to move towards that transformation. Because Lorraine's writing was beautiful, but when I said, let's focus on that transformation piece, that's when she could really soar and meet her reader's need. But that didn't mean that she didn't have that in her. She just needed the information to be able to tell it, because
Mhm.
her story is not really the product, the transformation is.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember that your story is actual proof that transformation is possible. But
Mm,
your reader isn't there yet. And so to just read your story or for you to share, hey, I have this book to tell you all about what I went through, that is just them looking onward at your story. But the transformation itself is what that reader is actually reaching for. And they need
mm.
to be able to see it for themselves. And by you encouraging that, it makes that connection possible.
That's so well said, Heather. You're
Thank
amazing. I
you.
love you.
Thank you. I love you.
Okay, so quick check-in again, because we like to do those, because now that we've kind of walked you through this, let's turn the magnifying glass a little bit more inward. So this is not meant to, like I said before, it's not meant for you to feel guilty or less than. It's just honesty, because we can't take a step forward if we're not honest where we are. So when you talk about your book, are you mostly talking about your story, or are you helping people see their next step?
Good questions. Because most authors, they don't realize that they've drifted back into that story first language, because it happens subtly, especially over time. If you feel like you are just really trying to get the word out about your book, it's just this subtle shift, but it does make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And as we like to do, let's just make this really practical. We want you to take 30 seconds and we want you to finish this sentence. My book is about my journey through what?
Mm.
Whatever it is. So with Lorraine, my book is about my journey through weight loss. Okay, now we're going to rewrite it. My reader is struggling with X, and this book will help them with X. So let's take Lorraine's as an example as well. We're rewriting my book is about my journey through weight loss, and we're rewriting it to my reader is struggling with trauma, emotional pain that is unhealed. This book will help them receive that healing and take a step forward. You see the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that second sentence, that is really where successful authors live, right? It's not just identifying what the book is about, it's connecting that point of how it will make a difference for the reader.
Mm-hmm. And as Christian authors, I think this matters even more, to be honest with you, because testimony isn't meant to point to us.
No, no. Yes, our testimony is all about God and what God does, not just in your life, but also what he can do in the lives of others.
Yeah. And so when you remember that, your story, all of a sudden, it becomes this invitation, not just look at what God did for me, but rather this may be what he might want to do in you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about minimizing your story. It's about multiplying its impact. Think about it. Your story is their story. They just haven't gotten there yet.
And when you shift the focus, people lean in faster. They recognize themselves quicker. They feel seen sooner. And that's really what creates this connection that we talk about almost every single time we do a training or a fun filtered. This is what moves them closer to the decision to buy your book. All right. All right. Let's move towards what we want you to do this week. All right. Keep this simple. Choose one of these a day to focus on. So notice I didn't say all of them. One of these a day to focus on. So first, rewrite your one sentence book description to focus on your reader's struggle and outcome. So again, focus on the reader's struggle and the outcome you want for them. Number 2, look at your last 3 social posts. And this one kind of hurts because a lot of times on social media, we like to turn the focus and the attention on us. So just go into it with humility and grace for yourself, but tweak one to make it reader focused instead of story focused. See how you can do that. Number 3, practice saying what your book is about out loud, but lead with, if you're struggling with X, instead of, my book is about X. If you're struggling with overeating and unresolved trauma, instead of, my book is about my amazing weight loss. When we speak to Lorraine's book.
Go ahead.
Oh,
did you say you were
this doesn't require a big reset? Oh yeah, just that the exchange, if you're struggling with overeating and emotional trauma, and that would be, instead of, my book is about weight loss, that would be the exchange for Lorraine if we were walking her through this kind of trade-off.
Perfect. It shouldn't require a big reset. That's not a big change. It's just one intentional change in how you say it. And then once you do that, everything else follows along.
And if this conversation, we hope this conversation has made you pause and rethink about how you talk about your book, that's a really good thing. So knowing that this is something that can help you move forward is awesome.
And if you want help to actually refine your message so it connects and converts, then that is exactly what we do inside of Book Marketing Pro Academy.
We help you get clear on who your reader is. We help you gain clarity on your message. And we also help you gain clarity and show you how to communicate it in a way that actually meets people where they're at and it reaches the right people. We'll drop the link in the comments, bookmarketingproacademy.com. Head on over there and sign up.
Yes. And if this helped you today, would you take a second to like or comment or share this episode? That really helps us to reach more authors who really need these reminders.
Yes. And we always show up in this space more often than not on a Friday. So we will look forward to seeing you next week for Fun Filtered.
Have a good weekend.
Take care. Bye-bye.